Good morning! Today's video is all about rims and wheel liners for Maggie. Now we have an appointment at noon down in Ford to have the rims replaced, her front rims. And when we were at Jayco one of the times this year, there was so many, we showed them that the rear wheel liners, each side, one side was a little bit rough. And they looked at it and said, we'll have paint look at it when they sent it to paint that time. Paint department determined it was clear coat or overspray or something. They could not get them clean, so Jayco sent us new wheel liners for the back two tires on Maggie. So we've been holding off, waiting until we got the warranty issue straightened out with the rims. We're gonna put these on, drive it down to Ford, get the new rims, and Maggie's gonna be great. So let's get started. All right, now the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna clean the centers, because as you can see, there's no decals on them yet, but we do have them, they did come with them. So we're just taking regular rubbing alcohol. We're doing this just in case there is any kind of a oily residue or anything that would prevent the decal from sticking. Get them both done. All right, so we're gonna do our best to get these centered. Pull off the backing material. I think I did pretty good there.
Considering they don't come with instructions.
Well, I mean, you just peel the back off. And the second one. That's our dog drinking water. Miss Brandy, in case you're wondering. All right, next step. Now, before we take this outside and mount it in that freezing cold weather, I want to take the opportunity to let people who are new to RVing see just how these things mount. Now, as you can see, there's lug nuts all around. Only two of them are good. And they'll always be opposite each other. Well, they were in our Class C and they are in our Class A, so that's what I'm going on. Now, the other ones, they're fake. See my fingers coming through? That's where one of the lugs on the wheel will come through, and it will always be opposite on the other side. These are just fake. These things here, just rubber inserts. When you pull this off, sometimes these things go flying. So just watch where they go and push them back in and put a space in between each one when it goes back on. Now, the actual lugs themselves, the way that you can tell which ones are real and which ones are fake, because again, they pretty much look the same. But it's right here. See the indentation? Every other side has an indentation on. That's how you know which one it is. And with that being said, again, the other one is always opposite it. So I'm gonna go out there, push it onto two lugs, and then just screw these right on top of it. And there is a special wrench that comes with, there should be a wrench that came with your RV for putting those lugs on and taking them back off. So let's head outside and get this done. This is the wrench that came with Maggie for getting the lugs off. And our Class C had a larger T-handle. This one just gives you a cheater bar. So, without further ado, what we're gonna do, is we're gonna look for the one that has the indentation on it. That's right here.
Right at the top.
I missed it, right at the top. You probably can't see the indentation is right there, which means the other one is going to be right on the bottom. So, it works the same. Counterclockwise, we'll take them off. See, it has the nut in it. And see how the lug comes out? Now I'm just gonna do the bottom one. And that's it. Okay, so now the new one. And make sure all your black foam inserts are in. Now, it doesn't matter where you line up the hole. It doesn't have to go where it went. It can go over here. It can go anywhere, because the lug's gonna fit up through here. Then just begin the nuts. Again, it's cold out here, people.
Yeah. Fingers get cold fast.
Do not over tighten, it's not necessary. These are mainly just for show. There you have it.
Very nice.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
And they're all nice and smooth. All right, so we're going to take Maggie down to the dealership now. Actually gonna go get the key and start her up and let her warm up before we get going. We'll talk to you as soon as we get back. We just wanted to break in and let the people who don't know what the issue is with the front rims. Now, it's about 1.5 years we started noticing that corrosion was starting to form on the rims. Now, the research I've done told me that the center of the rim is made of steel that the lugs go through, and the rest of it is aluminum. Steel and aluminum do not get along. So there's a chemical, they treat them or something, don't hold me to any of this, but they're supposed to be chemically treated so that they will get along. And obviously the steel on Maggie was a lot tougher than I thought because it started to deteriorate the aluminum rims. We brought it to Jayco's attention after about 1.5 years, and we put it on our list of things that we wanted, to fix under warranty. We were told that it was a Ford issue, but they would see what they could do, if there was any way to repair them or whatever. For anyone who owns a motorhome, it's on a Ford chassis, anything that comes on the chassis, the wheels, the brakes, the engine, tranny, that's all Ford. Anything that's put onto the top of it pretty much is Jayco's responsibility as far as warranty goes. So it just started getting worse. And we were told it was going to continue to just spread. When you spend over $100,000 on a motorhome, you really don't want your rims looking like they're corroding. So, we wanted something done because they're kind of expensive to replace these rims.
And they weren't pretty anymore.
Nope, and they were not pretty at all. So the last time that we went to Jayco to have the slide floor replaced, we were hoping and they were hoping that they would be able to get the rims done while we were there. Didn't happen, but they did begin the process for us. So when Cheryl and I got back from our 5.5-week full-time practice run, we picked up the ball and started running. For those of you that don't know, Ford has its own motorhome customer service. And we'll put the number down here.
Yeah, we don't know how long it will be the same number, but
yeah,
we'll put it down below.
But as of right now, this is the number you get a hold of. So we called them. They got a hold of a dealer. We set up an appointment at that dealer, and we drove Maggie down. They took pictures. They sent it to Ford Warranty, and we were surprised within 24 hours it was approved.
Yep, they got an answer within 24 hours. That was unreal.
Yep, and what was even more unreal, the rims were there in less than a week.
Quickest thing we've ever done.
So that brings us up to today. Yesterday, we went down with Maggie to have the rims replaced. We got there, we checked in, they said it wouldn't take that long. Cheryl and I went to the waiting room. So about, 15, 20 minutes after that.
After a cookie.
Oh, yeah. Chocolate chip cookies for free. But the service writer came out, and we're like, wow, it's done already. This is cool. He comes up and he says, we ran into a small little problem. Remember now, Cheryl and I live by Murphy's Law, so we weren't totally shocked. That was number one. Their tire machine could not handle a 22.5-inch rim.
They thought it would.
They thought it would. But what they were going to do was they were going to take the new rims and the rims and tires off of Maggie and ship them to a Peterbilt dealer where they could be switched over there. Fine, not a problem. Except it was going to take most of the day.
But they had a plan.
Yeah, they had a plan, so that's good. So, but Cheryl and I had no way to get home.
So the shuttle driver, I can't say that, the shuttle driver took us home.
Yeah, because we asked the guy if we could just test drive a Mustang GT and bring it back later, and he said we needed to talk to sales, so we figured that wasn't going to fly. So anyway, the shuttle driver brought us home. We're sitting around waiting, and we got a phone call stating that the tires were on the new rims. They were sending someone to go pick them up, but by the time they got back, got them mounted and take it out for a test drive, make sure everything's okay, it was going to be past the closing time. So they wanted to just know if we minded leaving it overnight. And what are we gonna do? And don't get me wrong, I'm not coming down on the dealership. These guys were great. They took really good care of us.
They always had a plan.
But so we said, yeah, okay, you can keep it overnight. So they call us like, what was it, 9:30 today? Mm-hmm. And they said, we run into another problem. They did not have a torque wrench that went up high enough. Now, this is a car dealership. They don't sell RVs, so
they do trucks, but
yeah, they do trucks,
it's very minimal.
But yeah, they don't do stuff this big.
Luckily, they're a brand new dealer, so they had a bay big enough.
Yes, but so as far as the torque wrench goes, they said it would take a couple of hours to get one in. So Cheryl and I missed our walk this morning because we were waiting to hear from Ford. But we normally do 7 miles. So we get off the phone because they said it was going to be a couple hours anyway. And I popped up Google Maps and I started looking, and I found out that it was about 7.5, little over, miles from here to the dealership. And originally, before the dealership was built, the trail that we take in the morning goes right to it. So I told Cheryl, I said, why don't we just walk? So our Maggie retrieval today is going to be a little different than the one we went to Indiana, but we're going to get her. And we're going to take you guys along with us. Let's go.
So come on.
This is the trail we walk every morning, and it's going to take us approximately an hour or two to get there.
Yeah, definitely. Now, during the spring, before Shower retired, I would be out here walking by myself. And I would be walking by this particular area, and the turtles were coming right out of the pond here, climbing up the bank and laying their eggs. And it was not uncommon to see more than a couple.
I can't wait to see that in the spring.
Then, unfortunately, over the next couple of days, I would see some of them dug up, and all that was left was the fragile eggshells. So, such is the circle of life, I suppose. As we get a little further, I'll show you what else we saw. Now we are approaching the 2.5 mile mark on our journey of 7.5 miles to go retrieve Maggie. I told you down where we showed you the turtles were that there was more animals along here that I used to meet up with, and this would be the area that I was adopted by a family of geese. I remember the first time coming down and seeing them, I'm like, oh my God, all those babies are right on the trail. So as I came along, I walked as far as I could without stepping into the water to avoid them. And I used to be out here Monday through Friday. And every single day, I would keep my distance, but I'd also get just a little bit closer. And Dad started backing off and was letting me get closer to the babies. So I started snapping pictures to send to Cheryl while she was working. Now, as we come up to this section, I can only imagine how it must have been for them trying to blow this all out so the train could get through. Let's pop back to the animals for a bit, shall we? Besides the turtles, besides the geese, besides the ducks, besides the fox, besides the deer. One day, at the other end of this trail, on my way back, I ran into one of the biggest and beastliest of them all. And it wasn't just one. There was a whole herd of them. It got so bad, they had to call the cops.
Ooh.
But Chuck, did you take pictures so we know what it is? Damn right I did. There was a farm breakout. The cows came down because they decided that they wanted a little bit more exercise than walking around a field and eating grass. This was wild. Now look, we don't live in a city. We live in a town, but it's not a real rural town. But I mean, cows on the trail. That was the first experience ever. It was like the time at the house when the 2 horses just came down to say hello to the neighborhood.
I've seen some cool stuff.
Yep. So as we continue to walk along, that's what it looks like off to the right.
We've never been in this section. It's
Yeah.
brand spinkety.
Yeah, this is new for us. And then you come over here and you say, this is one of the reasons. Again, no serenity out here. But we are probably about 1.5 miles from the Ford dealer now.
Yep, and it's a nice walk, nonetheless.
Hey, hon. Old Christmas tree.
Oh,
Christmas tree. Hey, you think this used to be a train station back in the day?
I don't think so.
Me neither.
We are at the Ford dealer. We stroll to the right. There's Maggie.
Maggie!
We're here to pick her up. Let's go check in.
Another shot of Mags. We're getting closer. We will retrieve her soon. Just gotta check in. We are back in Maggie and we're taking her home for her winter's sleep.
Hibernation.
Hibernation.
She's got a new rims on.
Yep, they look good. All right, guys, we are back. Maggie's got new rims. They look good, too. The other ones, you had that distinct mark between the steel and the aluminum. At least that's the way I think it works. But now it looks like it's all been blended in. It looks great.
Yeah, no seam.
I like them. I like them. And guess what? We got one on the other side, too. And this is the one on the passenger side. I do like the fact you can't see that line. All right, just gonna put the wheel liners on. It's not as cold as yesterday. So I'm able to move a little bit better. And again, you notice these can go anywhere. The holes, that is, on any of them, to tighten them down. Right across is where the other one is. That takes care of that. All right, everyone, there you go. The saga of Maggie's corroded rims is over. All covered under warranty. So, thank you, Ford. Thank you, Jayco. Other than that, even though she'd still like to play, and Cheryl and I would too, she needs a nap.
She needs to hibernate.
She needs to hibernate. So she's all closed up. She is all winterized. We did put a video, and if you didn't see our winterization of Maggie, the eye that just popped up will take you to that video. Other than that, if you like what you saw, we'd appreciate that thumbs up, as always. You want to become part of the Get Gone With Us gang? The red box down there says subscribe. Just tap that, and you will be a subscriber. Feel free to share and comment this video, because until we do another one, I'm Chuck.
And I'm Cheryl.
We're cold.
So we're going in.
Yeah, we're Get Gone With Us.
Bye.
All right, so we're just gonna put the wheel liners on. Got a new one over here too. Looking good. I like that that line's not there anymore. All right. Oh God. Okay.
You okay?